Showstoppers. Fragrances that will literally stop you in your tracks. And there's a lot of fragrances that just smell great that can do that. But there's some fragrances out there that are just so different, so interesting and intriguing, that it compels others to want to know, what in the world are you wearing? In this video, I've got 5 of those fragrances that, based on my personal experience, do just that. So stay tuned. Starting with one that I pull out for more formal occasions in the cold when I want to wear a showstopper, because it is exactly that, and it had to be in this video, and it had to be the first fragrance I talked about, that being AMOUROUD Dark Orchid. Basically a more potent niche version of Tom Ford's Black Orchid. If you like Black Orchid, you're bound to like this. Granted, this is extremely powerful. 2 sprays leave a giant trail. This is crazy powerful. One of the most powerful fragrances in my collection. Unique outside of Tom Ford's Black Orchid, because I don't have Black Orchid. I have smelled it before. Here, obviously, you get a dose of orchid. You get plenty of vanilla. It has that truffle smell that Black Orchid is known to have. Like I said, it smells pretty much just like a higher quality, more potent version of Tom Ford's Dark Orchid. Extremely formal. This one begs you to dress it up. This is not a t-shirt fragrance. By all means, if you want to wear a t-shirt with this fragrance, you can. I just don't recommend it. Personally, I would not wear this with a t-shirt, hell, even a polo, because this is, like I said, showstopper, stunner, different. This is going to be the topic of conversation when you walk into a small group of people. As soon as somebody smells you, more than likely they're going to want to know what's going on here, because there is no way people are not smelling you when you wear Dark Orchid from AMOUROUD. I have a few fragrances from them, and this is hands down the most powerful. All their fragrances are powerful. White Hinoki, Oud Tobacco. They have fantastic fragrances in this house, but this one shatters the rest in performance based on my experience. And like I said, I've had people stop me in my tracks and want to know what I was wearing, because it just smells so different. This is not something you're going to smell all the time or very often, if at all, when you walk by someone. So if you're looking for a stunner, one that's literally going to have an opportunity to stop somebody in the tracks to ask you what you're wearing, you might want to get a sample and try this one, because you might end up deeming it full bottle worthy. Not one I would want to wear every day, because this is a very special occasion fragrance that can stop the show. AMOUROUD Dark Orchid. Now, this fragrance is a guilty pleasure of mine that I only wear in the coldest of weather, because it's so thick, dense, it wears very, very heavy. It's a very, very strong sweet oud fragrance, that being MONTALE Honey Oud. This is just so incredible. I can't say it enough. I've featured this one several times in the last year. I've recommended this one to you guys, and for good reason. This is a must try. It really is. It's a very, very wearable oud. The oud is present. It's not hiding in the background or anything, making it more wearable. It's pronounced. You smell oud here. It's medicinal, but more warm wood, less medicinal, honestly. The honey is very thick. It adds a strong, dense sweetness here. The cinnamon rounds it off to where it's not too sweet, even though there's some vanilla here as well. And there's a lot of amber to add to that warmth and add a little bit of a powdery nature. So the vanilla is not too creamy. It's not too sweet with honey and vanilla. It's not too spicy with the cinnamon. It's just so well blended. The notes here work in such a great harmony. This is another showstopper. This, in my opinion, now, I haven't tried them all. There's like 5 billion MONTALE and Mancera fragrances, but of the like 15 or 16 I've tried, and I own 10 or 11 at this point, this is hands down the best. If I want to wear that type of fragrance that's going to impress, going to grab some attention, going to most likely spark a conversation with someone at some point, because I smell so good and or so different, MONTALE Honey Oud is definitely one of those fragrances that can do it. Granted, Probably one of the safer fragrances of the 5 in this video because it's so gourmand forward with honey and vanilla, but not really, because it is so oud heavy. That adds to its show-stopping capabilities, if you will, for lack of a better term. Another one, Nuclear Performance, crazy strong beast. Every fragrance in this video is crazy strong, and they're good for that. That's why they fit this topic. That's why this is a strong attribute of these fragrances, is stopping the show, because they're going to reach out and grab people. Not saying everybody is going to comment, but enough people are going to smell you that somebody is going to stop in their tracks and want to know what you're wearing with fragrances like MONTALE Honey Oud. While NISHANE Ani is indeed my favorite from the house, it's very intoxicating, but I actually deem this one a bit more of a showstopper than Ani because it's just so different. That being Fan Your Flames. I just featured this recently in my top 10 niche picks for this winter. This is a stunning fragrance. The way the coconut's used with this rum, there's a strong cedar note here, but it's not a harsh, rough edge type of cedar, because certain cedar notes can ruin a fragrance. Everything's top-notch quality here. A strong chypre feel to it because I do get a lot of oak moss. There's some dry, slightly leafy tobacco here. It's just an interesting amalgamation of notes that's blended to where it makes these different... I even smell like a roasted marshmallow type of smell without the burning woods. And it's that coconut rum smell but strangely enough, my mind goes to a roasted marshmallow when I smell it at the top. Obviously that changes within a few minutes, because for not being a overly complex fragrance with a ton of notes, this one does go through several different nuances on my skin. It's not a challenging fragrance, but it is a different scent profile. I've never smelled anything else that smells like Fan Your Flames. While intoxicating in its own right, just like I called Ani, this one's just that much more interesting to me because it's so different. And I have limited experience with this one. I've only worn it twice, aside from some test sprays, and both times I end up having a conversation about what I'm wearing because it just smells so different, and it's strong enough to really reach out and captivate someone and compel them to want to ask what it is. So definitely a great showstopper is NISHANE Fan Your Flames. This fragrance was the topic of conversation at my in-laws for Thanksgiving just a week ago, actually, and this is probably my favorite fragrance from the house so far. I've tried about 8 of their fragrances. I have 5 full bottles, one of them being AMOUAGE Epic Man. Now look, I know some of you are like, oh, but you got to try this one. This one's a showstopper. I'll get to those eventually, trust me, because I'm diving into this house more and more because this is my Middle Eastern brand of choice. I love everything I've put my nose on from AMOUAGE, and Epic Man, it's just something about it. There's a dry medicinal oud here, kind of reminiscent of kind of a oud wood type of oud, but on a higher quality scale. A healthy dose of incense, which I love. This dry spice. There's an underlying sweetness supporting it, and it's a beast on my skin. And 7 out of the 10 adults that were at the Thanksgiving gathering I went to could not believe how great I smelled, wanted to know what it was. Ooh, that's so different. I've never smelled anything like that. Because for the average person, they haven't smelled stuff like this. For fragrance enthusiasts, you might not be wowed. You might be like, really? Epic Man, of all the fragrances from AMOUAGE, that's your showstopper? Yes. Yes. Because in my limited experience with this one, it was the topic of conversation once again. So that's why this is in this video. It is incredible. This was a must-have for me. The first time I smelled it, it was a must-buy full bottle type of situation. This was one of those rare occasions where I sampled before I bought a bottle instead of just rolling the dice and blind buying. If you like incense, spices, and oud, it's a must-try in my opinion. It's different. If you like this, there's a really good chance you're going to like Middle Eastern fragrances, because this is kind of, I guess, what you could call a more mass-appealing, easier wear of a Middle Eastern fragrance, if that makes any sense, because it's not the most challenging oud and incense out there, but for me, it's definitely one of the most enjoyable oud incense fragrances out there. And like I said, based on my experience, it's a straight up showstopper. That being AMOUAGE Epic Man. Finally, the biggest showstopper of them all. For me anyways. Because this is so different. So crazy, absurdly, unapologetically powerful and animalic, sweet, ambery, oud. There's just so much going on here. Complexity is an understatement with this fragrance. That being the crazy expensive ROJA Parfums DIAGHILEV. This stuff is absurdly powerful. At the recording of this, I will be in California in 2 days. I have a little event me and George Zaharoff are doing at Door Perfumery on Sunday. Those of you in the Glendale area, if you want to come check us out, 11 to 3 Pacific Standard Time, we will be in store. It's going to be low 80s. That's too hot for this. I'd love to wear this. This is a statement in a bottle. My God, this is a statement in a bottle. And considering it's a special occasion, I would love for it to be a great time to pull this out. But the weather is just not permitting, in my opinion, to wear such a heavy, crazy dense animalic fragrance. Because honestly, if I was to put 3 sprays of this on, I'm going to fill that perfumery and I'm all everybody's going to smell. And it's just too warm of a climate for this fragrance on that day, unfortunately. Because honestly, I would love to take this with me and let this be my scent of the day for my trip to Door Prestige in Glendale, California. Because this is a conversation starter. This is a showstopper. This is a statement in a bottle, like I said. Crazy expensive. I'm going to be honest with you, if the brand had not sent this to me, I probably would never own a bottle because the conversion's like $1,700 US for a 100 ml. This is one of those crazy expensive fragrances from ROJA Parfums. But boy, does it smell like money. Spices, deep, rich, crazy animalic and spicy, musky, just edgy leather, this lovely sweetness, warm amber encapsulating all of it. There's so much going on here. There's so many layers to peel back. You would literally have to stop yourself from having olfactory fatigue, refreshing with coffee grinds over and over for hours on end to even attempt to peel back all the layers of this fragrance. This is the most special scent I've ever put my nose on. It is, like I said before, a statement in a bottle. And this is the main fragrance I had in mind when I thought of this video topic in the first place. Because a showstopper is an understatement for ROJA Parfums DIAGHILEV. If you can get your hands on a decant, which are crazy expensive, because a full bottle's crazy expensive. But it's an olfactive experience worth having. A decant can go a long way because you don't need much on your skin to be very loud and pronounced, and you're going to be very unique and smell different from everyone else. I can guarantee you that. The main showstopper, ROJA Parfums DIAGHILEV. Man, I get excited when it comes to these just different stunners. You know what I mean? Stuff that I've had such great experiences with, even some limited experiences with certain fragrances in this video, but memorable experiences nonetheless. That's why I get so excited. And until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback and I love hearing from you guys. Have you tried any of the fragrances in this video? Do you own any of them? NISHANE Fan Your Flames, Epic Man from AMOUAGE. Those are pretty easy to get your hands on and very different special fragrances in my opinion. Let me know what you think about them down in the comments. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of the 5 showstoppers I featured in this video and you give them a spray now, I'm extremely confident you'll thank me later. Because you're bound to start a conversation when you wear it. Because somebody's going to know what the hell you're wearing. Have a good one, guys.